Good day. My name is Paul Tiffany, and I'm a professor at the Haas School of Business, which is the University of California at Berkeley, and also at the Wharton School, which, as many of you I'm sure know, is the business program at the University of Pennsylvania. I have been asked by Dan, on behalf of AVT, to give you some of my own perspective on why you might consider participating in the CBA program that AVT offers. I'm well aware from my prior experience with this program that all of you have already very demanding schedules. Most of you not only have a work schedule that's overwhelming, you have personal lives. Why would you want to add to this by engaging in a very rigorous academic program on top of everything else? And that's a very good question, I think, and it's worth considering. There are, I believe, many advantages today to pursuing higher education. I don't think any of us need to acknowledge that any more than we already have, that markets are getting more competitive, the business environment is getting tougher, and the leaders who will emerge and do well have to have a sharper edge if they're going to achieve their goals and objectives. The MBA program and programs like that enhance the knowledge of management for functionally specialized people, I think is particularly good in this regard. Most of you perhaps are at a level in your career where you're ready to move up to the next level. You're ready to go to the next plateau. You perhaps are well trained in a specific area, maybe a technical area, a sales area, maybe a lower level management. And a program like this, I think, is ideal to give you that edge. We should keep in mind that, and I'm sure you're aware of this, that management itself is a very pragmatic function. Of course there are theories. Of course there are concepts. Of course there are principles. But this is not like rocket science. Management is understanding behavior and applying some good basic concepts to how people behave. I think a program like this has many benefits in that regard because it will do a number of things for the participants who successfully complete the program. I think, one, you're going to end up with a very good network of colleagues. And the network, I should add, again from my own prior experience with AVT, is not only the cohort of students with whom you will be going through the program, but also the rapidly growing alumni of AVT. This provides opportunities to share experiences, to network, to create new acquaintances, to follow up on opportunities that can be very career enhancing. That obviously is a strong benefit. I think there are more, though, as well. I think a major benefit is the self-confidence that one gains in having gone through this program. As I said before, management is getting tougher. And individuals with whom I've spoken who've been in this program say that at the end of it, they feel far more confident of their abilities as a manager to engage in problems, to define solutions, and to implement outcomes that they perceive as being very positive for their organizations. That degree of self-confidence I would never underestimate. I think it's very important. And having gone through a rigorous program that allows you to consider a wide variety of circumstances, it can only enhance your ability to manage in the future. Now, there are a couple other issues that I think are worth talking about. One of them is an issue that perhaps some of you might have thought of when I began my talk a few moments ago. Why does Professor Tiffany, who teaches at the Haas School, at the Wharton School, two of the most prestigious business programs in the world, why am I here? And that again, is a good question. I think on the first part, how would I respond? I am very happy to be part of a growing program. We have a saying in the United States, getting in at the ground floor and working up. I personally feel very proud to have been associated with AVT from the beginning. You might ask Dan at some later point, but I provided the very first lecture that the school provided when we began to do some so-called open enrollment programs several years ago. And as the AVT has added these certificate programs, the CBA, and as it continues to add to its repertoire of degreed programs, certificate programs, open enrollment programs, I'm very happy to be part of that. I feel like I'm part of the family here growing with it. The other part, and I think this again is very critical, I am always happy to participate with enthusiastic students. I teach in the regular MBA programs at these universities in America. But one of the real benefits of the AVT programs, like you, participants are real-world managers. Of course, theory is of interest to them, but they want to go beyond the theory. They say, how does this work in the real world? How do we do this in the real world? And dealing with students like that is always refreshing for the professor, because theory is one thing, but practical implementation is the critical factor. And students in this program, like yourself, are not going to let people like me get away with theory alone. So that pushback, that challenge to the underlying concepts is always refreshing. And I consistently find that when I'm here in Denmark interacting with participants in either the CBA program or some of the others. A last point that I think is worth talking about, many of you are aware that this program has been hugely successful in a very short period of time. I think one of the main reasons that that's happened is that this program tapped into a huge, strong underlying demand that has not been met by existing educational institutions. And that, in and of itself, is one of the reasons why I like being involved. Why? Because it demonstrates a major aspect of what we're trying to communicate in the teaching of the material itself. Being proactive, being entrepreneurial, seizing an opportunity, finding what the market wants, creating a product to fit market demand, and then executing that program with precision. I think AVT itself could serve as a wonderful case example of what managers have to do in order to be successful. And as I've indicated before, I personally am very proud to be associated with this. What I'm looking forward to is that I will be able to meet some of you in person, either at one of the receptions or even best during the program itself, should you happen to enroll in it. I will look forward to seeing you, and at that time, I certainly will be able to answer any further questions. Thanks for your time, and hopefully we'll meet again down the road. Thank you.